Well, hello everyone, and welcome to the second of our four live presentations that Tumbl Trak is presenting in 2022. We have a bunch of ambassadors all around the world, and one of our favorite things to do is to collaborate with them to bring you live educational content that hopefully you'll be able to glean a few tips and tricks from their expertise. As of this morning, we had 175 people registered for this event from all over the US as well as the globe. Welcome to the folks to Canada and Australia and New Zealand and the UK. We always enjoy the fact that we have a worldwide audience at these events. So thank you for joining us from whatever time zone you are at. Sorry. I'm Carrie Spender, and I am the education coordinator for Tumbl Trak. We have a long history of providing both equipment and education for all of our movement industries, really. We've met some great folks along the way, including folks like Coach Victoria Cunningham, and we are glad to have her today. But before we get too far ahead, I wanted to give you a few tips about viewing the presentation today. We will be popping in and out of this presentation screen and the live event. So the best way to see all the action is to use the view button if you're on a desktop up on top. So you'll be able to switch from whichever screen that we are using and viewing. Or if you're on a mobile device, you can just swipe left or right to see the different views. Make sure you're muted during the presentation, but feel free to use the chat feature that Zoom offers to ask any questions that you might have for Victoria. We are going to do our best to get to a lot of questions in our Q&A at the end of the event. In past events, we've really enjoyed a lively chat feature. So we all learn from questions that you add. So feel free to add your questions in the chat. Also, during the presentation, we'll be randomly giving out some door prizes. The door prize today is a combination $50 Tumbl Trak gift voucher, and as well a copy of this book. A friend of Tumbl Trak wrote and illustrated this book. It's called Perfectly Imperfect Mira. And this book just recently released. The title says a lot about what the book is about, and we are sure you will love it as much as we do. So I was thinking maybe we could give that chat feature a try right now and offer our first door prize of the day. Kelly and I have chosen a number. Kelly's our digital marketing strategist joining us today. Okay, Kelly. She has chosen a number from 1 to 50, and we're going to give you 30 seconds to find that chat feature and enter your guess. Look at the numbers coming in. Man, you are fast. And the first person to enter the correct number wins our first door prize. While you're entering your numbers, I'll let you know that we are going to keep the event to as close to an hour as we can, but stick around towards the end because we'll also be giving away a live $250 gift voucher giveaway at the end of the presentation, and you do need to be present to win. So I can't wait to see who wins that. So Kelly, look at all these numbers coming in. What is the number that you chose for our door prize winner?
You guys are doing a great job of utilizing that chat feature. Today's number for the giveaway is 34. We are celebrating Tumbl Trak's 34th birthday this June. So I'm going to go ahead and scan through all of those chats and see if I can either find a 34 or the closest number to it. So thank you for participating, and we will continue to hand out door prizes throughout the event.
Yeah, absolutely. Keep those questions and keep that chat active today. So now for the real reason that you are here. Victoria Cunningham is the owner of Flight Athletic Academy in Tennessee. She has an infectious smile and personality and a real passion for helping both young athletes and coaches to achieve their goals through progressions and positivity. She has a really active YouTube channel. So I encourage you after this presentation, I'm positive you're going to love what you see today, to check her out on that YouTube page. And today's presentation, I am going to let her get going, but this is Tots, from Tots to Team. The ideas presented are Victoria's best tips for getting athletes started on the right foot. Victoria, we are so glad to have you and the girls. And how's things in Tennessee this morning?
Things in Tennessee are great. Weather here is beautiful, and we are so excited for this presentation today.
Awesome. Okay, so we're all ready for you. This is a good time for you to find Victoria's main screen and make it your main screen. I'll stop sharing and we'll get started.
All right, well, my name is Coach Victoria Cunningham. I am the owner of Flight Athletic Academy in Kingsport, Tennessee. I actually grew up on Long Island, New York, and I did gymnastics up there, but my whole goal was always to own a gymnastics facility. Since I was about their age, I really wanted to own a gym, and people would say, oh, you want to coach gymnastics? I was like, no, not just coach gymnastics. I want to own a gym. I wanted to create the whole environment for both athletes and coaches to thrive under. And so I'm really living the dream, and I'm very, very happy, blessed, and excited about it. I have some presenters here with me today. We're going to be doing a presentation on how to get your athletes from toddler classes up to competitive team. It's something that I'm really passionate about. I love to make it fun. I love to make kids love gymnastics and be passionate about it. And once I was done with my gymnastics career, I started coaching toddler gymnastics. When I was about 14 years old, that's when I started coaching toddler gymnastics. After that, I started working on some pre-team and lower level team stuff. And with my competitive team background, I was able to kind of mush it all together. And I feel like I learned very quickly how to make sure that my toddlers were very prepared when they moved up to competitive team. It was even better when I owned my own facility, because I could make my program, develop my toddler program, so that kids felt really prepared and really strong and had really great shaping when they would move into pre-competitive and competitive team. So something that we're really proud about here at Flight Athletic Academy is that our program is so seamless, from the very, very little tots all the way up to our highest level of gymnastics. I work really closely with our optional level coach to make sure that any of the changes that he makes with our optional level girls, that's levels 6 through 10, we take that and we start that foundation really early in our toddler program. Now, these ladies that I have here with me today are very special, because these girls have actually come up through our toddler and recreational program and are now on our competitive team. So I'm going to introduce them. Let's start over here. Harper, will you give them a wave? This is Harper. Harper is a level 2 gymnast. This is Claire. Claire just moved up to level 3. And this is Ellie. She just moved up to level 2. Girls, you want to tell them how old you are?
I'm 7.
Harper is 7 years old.
I'm 6.
Claire is 6 years old.
I'm 7.
Ellie is 7 years old. Okay, so they're still very young and they love to have fun. So if you see them having a little bit of fun in the background, it's just part of it. And hey, that will translate more to what happens with our toddler classes, as I'm sure any of you that coach toddlers know. So first, to get started, the most important aspect of moving kids from a toddler program to a competitive team program is making sure that they have solid shaping. Now, I want you right now to think about, if you are not including these 3 shapes in your toddler program, you might want to start that now. The 3 shapes that we're going to go over today, we've got 1, candlestick, 2, a handstand line, and 3, a push-up position. I'm going to show you some awesome ways that you can include these in your toddler program, make them fun, and make sure that you're doing them technically, foundationally correct. All right, ladies, are we ready to get started? Yes? Okay, can you girls, one on each panel of our mat here, of our panel mat, show them your very awesome candlestick shapes. Wow, these are so good. Okay, now these girls are on competitive teams. So when you first get started, they're not really going to look like this. But what's a way that we can make that a little bit easier to start with our toddler program? Let's put our hands underneath our back. Ellie already knew exactly what to do. So when we start with our toddler program, we start with hands underneath the back. To increase the difficulty of the candlestick, we put the arms down straight underneath us. And we're trying to maintain flat hips by squeezing our glute muscles in the back. If we want to make it even more difficult, we're going to raise the arms up above the head. That's where it starts getting tough. This is maybe like a pre-team level. And then for our competitive team girls, we have them put their hands on their thighs. This is going to translate really well to bars. Girls, I am going to have Harper be our demonstrator, and I want Claire and Ellie to go sit back on that mat right there. Harper, can you turn sideways for me? All right, can you show us those candlestick progressions one more time? So go ahead, do hands underneath the back. Underneath, grab your back. Yes, that's for beginners. Hands down, hands up, and hands on the thighs for bars. That's the hard one. Oh, she's so good at that one. That's why I love to use her for that. Now, what is that going to translate to? What do we need the candlestick for? Harper, can you show us a handstand forward roll? And girls, when you see a candlestick, I want you to say, stop. Okay, so start over here for me. Hands on the dark blue. Now we've got our awesome panel mat that matches all the colors of our gym. And I love that they're different colors because when I tell her, put your hands on the dark blue, she's gonna know exactly where I want her to start so that she can end at the right point. Hands on the dark blue, handstand. Oh, they saw it. Candlestick is in the middle of the handstand forward roll. Now, if we put the handstand forward roll in reverse, we have a back extension roll, which is one of the skills that they use for compulsory gymnastics. The handstand forward roll and the back extension roll are both in the compulsory gymnastics routines. All of those things are going to lead to optional level gymnastics when we've got things like clear hips on bars. If you're an upper level coach or if you know anything about that or you have any experience, clear hips on bars, use the candlestick a lot. All right, girls, next shape, the handstand line. I'm going to have all three of them get on a panel again. Look, I love the colors because they're each on one color. They're going to show you their lying handstand. Go ahead, lie down. Now, what we're looking for in the lying handstand is pushing through maximum extension. They're going to pull their bottom rib up off the ground and push their hands so far away. When I'm with my toddlers, I use their imagination. I tell them, imagine that you're getting pulled apart because we want them to be as long as possible to make a really good handstand. Super awesome, girls. Okay, Ellie and Harper, you can go sit back there. I'm going to have Claire be our demonstrator for this one. Claire, turn sideways for me. Turn sideways, long ways, yep. And show them that handstand line again. Great, so this is what we're looking for. Bottom rib up off the ground, pushing. This is the shoulder girdle. You want that pushed down towards the ground, legs tight together. And it's so fun to try to pull their feet apart. And if they are super tight and tense, they're going to be able to keep them together. The toddlers absolutely love that. And they never let me forget it because each time that I don't try to pull their legs apart, they're like, hey, you didn't pull my legs apart. So make sure that you're doing that to keep them on their toes and make sure they're always tight, not just tight when you're checking, you know? So I just kind of sneak up behind them and try to pull their feet apart. And sometimes if I'm feeling extra fun, if they get me, I do 3 push-ups. So if I try to pull them apart and they're nice and tight, I do 3 push-ups. One of the things that we do with our toddlers, because toddlers do not like to wait around, is we get 2 panel mats and we pop them down. And we have them try to do their handstand shape in between the panel mats. And in order to make sure that we are engaging our friends at the same time, we try to send a medicine ball underneath. Yeah, so let's have Ellie lie down here and she's gonna do her handstand line. Yep, and Harper, you're gonna go to the other side. Now, this is going to be really hard. We're using these panel mats.
Wait, I did it the other way.
Yeah. Oh, that's okay. We're going to try both ways. She's going to try to roll it underneath her body. Go ahead. Roll. And if she's not pulling up enough through her rib, it won't be able to fit. Try it again. Hold up. Nice and tight here. Go roll it. Yay! She did it. Okay, let's have her roll over onto her back and try again. And that's just a really fun game to play with toddlers. Oh, this is going to be hard. Harper's right. Okay, roll it underneath. Hips are flat, so they're engaging the correct muscles to do a really nice handstand line. What are handstands important for? Girls, when you do a front handspring over the vault table, what's the only shape you're allowed to use? A handstand line. So we love handstand shapes. They're important for every single event, probably the most important. Last shape, we're going to have to travel to the, yep, see, look, they're having fun with this already. This will keep them engaged. And look at her. She is in her nice handstand shape line the whole time because she doesn't want that medicine ball to hit her. But girls, we're actually going to move into the bar room to show them the push-up position shape. Yeah, here we go. Okay, everybody, you're going to travel with us to our toddler bar room. Come on in, girls. And we're going to wait patiently. We're going to sit against the wall and wait very patiently right there. You girls are doing so good. Okay, we're just making sure that we're getting this set up so that we can see everything. I think that's good. Okay, another really important shape that we use is the push-up position shape. Now, what skill is done in a push-up position shape on bars? What do you think?
A cast.
Claire said a cast. Do we agree with her? I think so. I think that's right. Okay, since Claire guessed that, Claire, can you come and demonstrate this station for us? What we've got set up here, in case you can't see very well, we've got our sliders, and we're putting them on the ground here. We've also got our Velcro hands, and we're going to have Claire put her hands on the Velcro hands and her feet on the slider. What's the number one thing that kids do with casts on the bars? They always just cast and fall back. So what we're doing here is we're having her lean her head into the wall. We've got some cones in front of the hands, and she's pushing her feet back as far as she can, keeping her hands on there and putting her head on the wall. Toddlers can start this. It's probably not going to look that good, but you have to start somewhere. And she started somewhere a long time ago, right? She started with that. One of the things that we do as well to keep that core nice and tight, she already knows that. But what we do is we put like something red. Sometimes we take those non-slip pads that you put underneath the mats and we fold them up and put them under there. And we say, you got to keep your belly away from the lava. And they love that visual aid. They're all about using their imagination at that age. So make sure you harness that. Okay, moving on to things that you can do with your toddlers to prepare them for compulsory bars or upper level bars, front supports, and inverted hangs. So important. Don't forget these. Don't just move straight to the pullover and straight to whipping them around the bar if they don't have the foundation to create good back hip circles and to get up on top of the bar and be in a good shape. So girls, let me have Ellie come on over here. Can we see her, Miss Kaylee? All right, jump up to front support. So when you've got your toddlers in their front support, you want to tell them eyes up, toes down. Those are the cue words that I use. And we push their ribs back and we pull their shoulders forwards. And then again, watch. Oh, you try to get their legs. And so if they keep them nice and tight together, again, you want to congratulate them for that. That was awesome. So this is a good front support position. Now the front support, if you think about it, is the inverted hang turned upside down. So let's do the inverted hang. Can you do that? Let's come backwards to the inverted hang. Now I want you guys to think about the shapes that we used earlier. We used that candlestick shape. Here's the candlestick shape again on the bar. So she's squeezing her hips flat, using her bottom, keeping her ribs pressed down. And the way that you spot them when they're little is from underneath their necks so that they don't drop off the bar and by their legs. And then as they get more advanced, you push on the front of their shoulder and let them keep their own legs up. That's really good, Ellie. Very good. Now that's a shape that they're going to use in their clear hip circle in the future and in their back hip circle for now. Oh, thank you. Ellie stood up my water bottle. She's so sweet. Okay, guys, one of the things that we do to make the candlestick shape translate to bars, I'm going to move the camera over here a little bit so that you guys can see a station that we have set up in the corner. Now, these stations that we have set up are actually things that we're doing with our toddler program, like currently, like this is what our toddlers are doing this week. It was kind of already set up for us. Let's have, oh, who's smiling really hard? I saw Claire smiling really hard. She's going to demonstrate this station for us. Now we have our slanted ninja step, and oh my gosh, do we use these things for everything? Literally everything. First off, we use them for our ninja program. In our gymnastics program, we find uses for them all over the place. So they hook their knees on, they lower themselves down nice and slowly. I've got our little parallel bar. She's going to hold on to it. And this is a great way to start teaching your toddlers how to do the candlestick shape with keeping the bar on their thighs. Obviously, it's not going to be 100% perfect, but the thing that you're teaching them is to keep the chin down on the chest and to aim the toes up to the sky. And this little ramp here is a great way for them to learn that. Great job. Okay, so let's move this back into the corner. To make sure that we are getting that push-up position on the bar and getting some use out of it, I'm gonna have Harper come on up. We're gonna show the first part of the cast and the second part of the cast. Come on over here. Okay, jump up. This is our pike compression. So we're just on our little bar here. We wanna put the bar on our hips. So move the feet forwards. Move the feet forward so that you could, this is our pike compression. We're going to check to make sure our elbows are straight. And this is the first part of the cast, right? Tight, tight, tight legs, leaning over. This is something your toddlers can do easily. You don't even need to spot this station. You put something there, you get them up on the bar. This is our 5-in-1 bar. So we've actually got 2 bars going at the same time. And they do this part of the cast. And then they can come on over here and then you can do a spotted station. Come on up to the high bar for me, Harper. Yeah, you can go on this side for me. Yeah. Jump up. Okay, so she's going to do her pike compression. I'm going to spot that part. And then we want to grab them in a push-up position. Go ahead. Little pike compression and up. And we're going to grab underneath their belly, hold them nice and tight. Now they're going to be little. So this is kind of easy to do with little kids. Head neutral, which means straight out ahead. And then back to the bar. So we're just putting all those pieces together. So we've got the push-up position, a pike compression, and we put it together on the bar at a spotted station. Let's look what else we need. Oh, what's like the most important thing on bars is what? Strength and muscles, right? Okay, so make sure that you're also including that in your toddler program. Oh man, they're all so strong. It's hard to pick. Let's go with Claire. Claire, can you show us on this bar here, on our 5-in-1 bar, can you show us chin above the bar in a tuck hang? Ooh, I love this for the pullover because they're engaging their core and they're keeping their chin above the bar. So a lot of times with the kids, again, we need to make it so fun for them. So we're going to grab anything, literally anything. Tell them it's a baby. Knees up. Oh gosh, don't drop the baby. Keep the baby on your lap. And they just think that's so much fun. Good job. Sometimes I even use the medicine ball and we call it an egg. And we're like, you can't break the egg. So we did that. We had a on the farm theme week and they had to hold the egg up on their lap and then carry it across the bar and drop it into a basket. All the kids absolutely love that. So again, try to harness their imagination so that you're not just putting a bunch of 3- and 4-year-olds on the bar doing a tuck hang with their chin above the bar. It's got to be fun for them. Other thing's going to be the L hang. Oh, Claire, I'm not done with you yet. Can you show us the L hang? Go ahead. Oh, you can hang right down. Yes. So, wow, she's so strong. But this is an L hang. We can put another medicine ball on her lap. It's an egg. As soon as those feet start dropping, where's the medicine ball going to go? Right off. Right off. We don't want to do that, right? No. Okay, guys. That was awesome. We are going to move on to the balance beam room and go over some beam focus for your toddler program that can help you with your competitive team, kids. All right.
Got a question.
Yes.
Our top program goes as little as 1.5. Is this suitable for them, or we need to adjust a tad for their strength?
Oh, we always modify going down for our, we do parent and taught program. So we modify going down. And so what we would do with them, say on the strength things, is we have the parents help them because 1.5-year-olds probably shouldn't be suspended from the bar completely by themselves. It's just not good for their joints at that point. They should be at least 2.5 before they're holding themselves up. So we tell the parents, hold them by their torso, and then we actually take little stuffed animals and put them on their laps, and they try to count to 3 or 4 or wherever they're at in their development. Every kid is different. And we tell the parents to make sure that they're doing that. With the push-up positions and all of that, you can do that with them as well. Push-up positions are fine for the little tots. And you're going to put that lava mat down. You're going to tell them, keep your belly away from the lava and touch your head to the wall. And they can understand the cues like that as long as you give them those goals that are very clear. Even the little ones can understand them, and you got to start somewhere. I'm going to go ahead and close this door, and then we'll get started in the beam room. Sorry, we've got a fan in the way. Okay, so on balance beam for our toddlers, we start this, yes, as young as in our parent and tot class, which is 16 months is when we start it. We start something called no sharing feet. This is beam foot placement. Now, a couple summers ago, I sent my optional coach up to Pittsburgh, Pennsylvania at Excel Gymnastics with Lindsay Sensel, and she had all of her upper level girls ending their acro elements heel to toe, heel to toe. Now, you don't have to do that. But that's just the way that we do it. We used to do puzzle piece feet, but we have moved on to this because their tiny little feet do work with puzzle piece feet, which is, the feet interlocked. However, when they get older, their feet grow and it gets a little harder to do that. So we do heel to toe, heel to toe. Now, ladies, let's stand up. We're going to get on our Addy beam right here. I love these Addy beams because they are so much like the competitive balance beams. They feel just like them, and they're very, very stable. They're not just your average little floor beam. These things are the real deal. Come on up here. Girls, you're all gonna, oh, they're showing off their muscles. Woo, look at those. All right, get on the balance beam here. Show me no sharing feet. We love to encourage sharing in our program, but not on balance beam. Oh my gosh, look at those muscles. Hop on there, Claire. Show them your no sharing feet. Wow, very strong. Okay, and we're squeezing our, let's put our arms up. One foot in front of the other, no sharing feet. Good, and we teach them this throughout the whole toddler program. You girls are so silly. Okay. Now, if you're going to do a beam complex with your girls or with your boys in your toddler program, make sure that each thing that you choose for your beam complex has a purpose. So you don't just want to do, oh, walk across the beam, walk back. You want each thing that you do to have a specific purpose. So some of the things that we do in our beam complex in our toddler program and in our pre-team and lower level team program, so that translates really nicely and smoothly and is a cohesive program, is bear crawls with straight legs and duck walks. First off, super fun, very fun things to do. Secondly, those things are going to translate into our compulsory skills. So girls, very quickly, can you girls sit down, except for Ellie? Because Ellie's going to show us the level 1 beam mount. You girls are going to sit over there. Ellie, can you show us just on the balance beam? Because I want to show you why we're doing these things in our toddler program. So level 1 beam mount, we're going to start here. Yeah. She's got her arms up by her ears in a nice straight line. She's going to put her hands on the balance beam. Straighten this leg. Wow, there's the bear crawl position. Lever. Yeah, put it back down. And stand back up to the squat. Here's the duck walk position, and then she's going to stand back up. So we've got the duck walk and the straight leg bear crawl in there. So ladies, let's show them our duck walks across the balance beam. Now they do it with arms up and hands in a crown, but today, since we're working on our toddler presentation, Claire knows what we're going to do. We get to use our duck wings, and you can do your duck noises. Very, very good.
My grandparents have.
Your grandparents have ducks? That's great. Perfect. Perfect. That's so fun. Yeah. Can you show me your straight leg bear crawl? So we're going to work on lengthening out the hamstrings, which as they're growing so fast, go ahead, keep going. As they're growing so fast, the hamstrings have a little bit of trouble keeping up. So if you've got little toddlers that are not so flexible in the hamstrings, yes, you can go roar for these. Yes, because when we do the bear crawl, we got to do our bear noises. I love these girls. They're perfectly young enough that this stuff is still so fun for them. You are a bear. Perfect. Okay, so that is some of the things that we do in complex. Girls, can we show them how we learn in the toddler program the new mounts? So these mounts are hard. I really don't know why they are so difficult, but they really are. So we start them in the toddler program. So what we've got is our Alfong spotting block lined up to our Addy beam. Greatest thing about the Alfong spotting block is that it has a line on top. Can you make sure that they could see that in the camera? They can. Okay, it's got a line on top that's like the exact width as the balance beam. So what we have them do is we sit on the line. Oh, your girls are going to back up a little bit so Ellie can show first. She's going to sit down on the spotting block. She's going to put her arms up. She's going to put her happy foot out in front. That's her dominant leg. We call it a happy foot. Straight up. Yes, like that. And she's going to stand to her squat. Go ahead. Stand to the squat and duck walk all the way across. Oh, come on. You can do it.
Wait.
To your squat.
With the just.
Wah, wah. Go ahead. Go.
You make a good duck noise.
You do?
Duck noise.
Harper thinks my duck noise is really good.
Do
Go
it.
ahead. Wah, wah.
Quack, 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 quack.
Very good. And this is going to translate straight to their balance beam mount. Go ahead.
Quack, quack,
Yeah,
quack,
good.
quack,
Good. So that's one of the first steps that we use. Another thing that we do that gets them ready for, so you can stand up, that gets them ready for competitive gymnastics in the toddler program. You can hold this. They're going to hold this hoop. And since their legs are so short when they're little, these are just tiny hoops. They're going to do a little kick and they're going to try to get their shin to touch this. And that's going to discourage them from bending their knees because you don't want to tell them your knees are bent, your knees are bent, your knees are bent because that's boring for kids. Instead, you want to give them something that they can do, like touch your shin to the hoop.
Because if you bend your knees, it will.
Yes, if you bend your knees, you just go through the hoop. We're not trying to go through the hoop. We're going to the hoop, right?
Yeah.
Okay, go ahead. Keep going all the way across. Kick walks. Boom, boom. Look at those nice straight legs because kicks are so important on balance beam because they translate to leaps. Go ahead. Boom. Look at her go. I love that so much. Go ahead. Harper's finishing up here. Wow. Guys, isn't that just beautiful? And you start this with your toddlers, and if their knee comes up through, you're like, oh goodness, you got to kick the hoop. To the hoop, not through the hoop. We do a lot of rhyming because we're like Dr. Seuss over here. All right, guys, I need you to sit down real quick over there. Another thing that I noticed in all of my years of coaching lower level gymnastics is that kids like to travel when they do stretch jumps on balance beam. So we have created a way to get that into our toddler program to make sure that they are doing that correctly. They should not be traveling in a stretch jump. They shouldn't be moving forward or dropping the chest or anything like that. So what we have here this week, for the 3 weeks in our toddler program, we're doing like street signs and driving theme. And so we've got our duck crossing sign up over here. I know you guys can't see that. We've got little ducks on the balance beam. And so what we have them do is not always ducks, it's something different. But we've got our no sharing feet and we're standing in between the ducks. What they're going to do is they're going to bend, jump, and they have to land back in between the ducks. So they're not going over. So we're giving them a specific goal. And someone asked about what can you do with the little ones? With the little ones, we already have all of our setups ready to go and they're just getting comfortable on the balance beam. So we have them stepping over the ducks, and that's how they do the duck crossing station. But as they get older, so in our classes from 3.5 years old to 5.5 years old, we have them doing stretch jumps in between the ducks. Now again, our no sharing feet, bending, jumping, landing back, no sharing feet, and not crushing any of our ducks that are on the balance beam. Do you girls think you can demonstrate that? Remember, we're not going over the ducks, we're staying in between the ducks. Now, again, we're giving them a goal. If I just sent my toddlers to balance beam and said, do stretch jumps, we're not going to accomplish anything. We have to give them a clear goal. Arms down to start, plie. Plie means bend, and we teach that from the very beginning. Jump. Oh, whoa. Oh my goodness, great, sit down.
We should have done duck walks over.
You should have done duck walks over. Missed opportunity. You're right. All right, one foot in front of the other. Plie, jump, land back on the beam. Look, I love it because she's not traveling in the stretch jump. Go ahead, sit back down, Claire. Oh, you can do one right there if you wanted to. Plie, arms down, jump, back on the balance beam. So fun. Love it. Okay. All right, guys, we are going to move on from the balance beam room. Great. Look at that. Those are so good. And they're also just getting confident over there. This is the Addy beam that's got like the little extender legs on it. Again, super stable. And we actually had like this like mess of tile over here. So we used the Build-A-Mats to fill the space, and it worked out super great, perfectly actually. All right, ladies, are we ready? We are going to move on to, I think, floor next.
So we
Ooh, floor.
can
Yes, yes. Okay, we're going to set the camera right here because these girls are so excited to do this. Come on over, ladies. Come on over. Come sit right here on these panel mats. Now, one of the things that we do to build up strength on floor for handstands is we use our big cheese mat. And the big cheese mat has like a grid on the top. It's kind of like a tic-tac-toe board. And oh, girls, you don't have to do that right now. You can just sit down. And what we do is we send the girls across the mat in a handstand shape, like a half handstand shape, a modified handstand, and they try to chase each other down. Whoever catches up to who is the winner. So let's use Ellie and Claire. So let's have Ellie start with her feet in this box and Claire start with her feet in this box. And you can do this with kind of whatever age because their feet are up there and their hands are down, and they're going to build so much stamina and muscle in their shoulders. All right, girls, ready, set, go. Go that way, Ellie, that way. So they're just going around, building up their shoulder muscles, their back muscles, and their stamina, and they're trying to catch each other. And if you have two really fast kids, I give them a time limit. So, oh man. So at the end of like 15 seconds, if nobody's caught up to anybody, I'm like, oh, that's a tie. That's a tie. All right, come on down. Good job. Let's have Ellie on this side and Harper on that side. That was tough, huh? Okay, here we go. And go. Fast as you can, fast as you can. They love this. So fun. 5, 4, 3, 2, 1. And they wouldn't even know that they were working out because they really just think we're playing a game, right? You landed on the spot you started, and that's great. All right, you ladies, I need you to sit right there. I'm going to move this mat because literally we use this big cheese mat for everything. And so we're actually going to move it over for our floor part, and then we're going to move it over because we're also going to use it on vault. One of my favorite things to do is teach them a step-by-step learning approach and to make sure that they understand the importance of getting step 1 right before moving on to step 2. And that's something that we instill in our toddlers straight from the very beginning. We play this game called graduation. So we name each of the wedge mats after like a school. So we're going to start on the big cheese mat. That's going to be our preschool. Preschool. And then we've got elementary school, middle school. Our micro ramp is our high school. This thing I love because it's such a small incline or decline, depending on which way you're going, that it's almost really similar to being flat on the floor. And then if we're feeling crazy, we'll use the floor as college if we want to let them graduate college. But I'm going to show you what we do with our lower level team girls with our level 2s and level 3s with straight arm backward rolls. And then I'm going to break it down for you and show you what we would do with our toddler program with these. Okay, ladies, can you show me straight arm backward roll graduation? Now, they're going to go to a push-up position. Oh, she's a level 3, so she's doing 3/4 handstand. Excellent job. You can graduate to the next one. Now, when you first start this, they are not going to be able to graduate very quickly, and you're going to teach them to be patient. And so if each time they improve a little bit, or maybe one week they get to move from the big cheese mat to our next mat to, what is that, elementary school, give them those small short-term goals. And you can even try college right here, Claire. Those small short-term goals, and then celebrate when they succeed with those. Now, this is what we do with our lower level team girls. They love to play graduation. If you have a big group of team girls, it's a good way to get in the reps and to make sure that they are consistently being focused on the quality of what they're doing and also having fun at the same time. It is possible to do that. Now, with our toddler program, what do we do with them? Hey, girls, we're going to do backward roll tucks with bent arms. So they are just trying to make it over because you have to start somewhere. They're just trying to make it around and to their feet. The goal is to land on their feet, right? And if they do it, oh, not straight arm, bent arm tucked. If they do it, they can move on to the next one. And you want to give them what they need to move to the next one. So for my toddlers that are 4.5 to 5.5, I say you have to land on your feet, not your knees. For my 3.5 to 4.5-year-olds, they just have to make it over. And so make sure that you're giving them goals that line up with where they are at developmentally. With my little ones, I'm spotting them. We're just spotting them down a wedge. And I do also love to move my little ones to the micro ramp because it is so close to the ground and they really have to pull the hips and the shins over the top. Hips and shins is also what I say to my upper level girls when I'm telling them how to do their back tucks. Hips and shins, that's what you pull over the top. So you start that right from the very beginning. Hips and shins, so that they start understanding what that cue means. You also want to tell them where their hips are and where their shins are because our little ones might not know exactly where that is on their body. We do the exact same thing with forward rolls. Now, the goal that we use with forward rolls is straight arms for our older kids. For our toddlers, 4.5 to 5.5 years old, standing up without their hands. So they stand up just with the legs. For our 3.5 to 4.5-year-olds, rolling and being able to stand up. Earlier on, we're spotting them. We're making sure that they're safe, keeping their chin on their chest, pulling the hips over their head. So that's kind of what we do to make sure that they've got this step-by-step learning approach, and we're instilling in them a sense of short-term goals leading to long-term goals. And we're making sure that they are consistently focused on the quality of what they're doing. So we don't want to let them move on to the next step until they're doing the first step correctly. Good job, ladies. That's awesome. Okay, also on floor, one of the things that we like to start in our toddler program is pivot turns. I love to use these fun sticks for our pivot turns when we first get started. Ladies, let's come on over here. We are done with graduation. Thank you. You girls were great. High fives. You're doing amazing. All right, let's get started over here. What do we do for pivot turns, ladies? Do you remember how did we first learn pivot turns when you learned them? Wow, that's good. We do want to encourage them, though, to use their silly foot in front as their non-dominant leg. It's the one that feels silly when they put it in front and we're going to like do a handstand or do a cartwheel. Excellent. Now with my toddlers, though, with my young toddlers, I always just assume they're righties. And then if things aren't working out, then I'll switch them to be a lefty. But if you're confused, like, oh, my young ones, I don't know if they're lefty or a righty, just assume they're righties because most kids are going to be righties. This is actually weird because I have 3 lefties with me today. Put your silly foot in front. Yeah, they go up on tippy toes and then they turn. Something about having the fun stick there makes them understand a pivot turn better. And I really don't know what it is. I think it's magic.
Yeah, let's go.
You want to try one more? Now, after they've done this, again, step-by-step learning approach, we move them to just a line on the floor. Can you try it line on the floor? Silly foot in front. Uh-oh, silly foot. And pivot. Good. And then when they're on competitive teams, we have them put their legs closer together, go into that nice, beautiful releve, weight on the back foot, and turn. Go ahead. Great. Some things that I want to encourage you guys to include in your toddler program that's going to translate well to gymnastics, to competitive gymnastics in the future is galloping. Girls, will you come on over here? Beautiful. I love that you're sitting down waiting so patiently. We're going to get on this line right here. We're going to line up behind Ellie. Now, can you girls show them how do we do our galloping in the toddler program? We got our lassos ready. We're riding a horsey, galloping down. Go ahead. Giddy up. Oh, yeah. Love to use their imaginations for that. They can see that on the screen. Perfect. Okay, let's do that one more time. This is what we're doing with our toddlers. They are having fun. She said, giddy up, horsey. Too cute. Okay, come on over here. But what's that going to translate to? Show them chasse. She's so good. What'd you say? A chasse. Arms out, plie, and point at the top. Silly foot in the front. Yep. Plie and point. Plie and point. Plie and point. Do you guys see how similar those were? So if you start this kind of coordination with your toddler program, it's going to be so easy when you go and move those kids to a preteen program or a teen program, and they already know how to do things like that. Girls, what's the other thing that we do? Skipping. Don't just assume that your toddlers know how to skip. I'm going to tell you right now, they don't. They don't know how. Can you show me skipping? You're going to have to teach them how to skip, but you want to do it almost every week because why? What does skipping translate to? Long skipping. She said, yeah, we do long skipping for our vault warm up, but it also translates to our hurdle, right? Can you show me a power hurdle? Are you girls at that point yet? Do you girls know power hurdle?
Yeah.
Show me a power hurdle. Oh, that was a run hurdle. Good, very good. Let me see. You can run hurdle or power hurdle. Just make sure you stay right here so that they can see you. Hurdle. Good. Look how similar that looks to skipping. Hurdle. I think she might have went out of the screen there. That's okay. Yeah, so hurdling into our tumbling is something that we can teach easily with skipping in our toddler program. All right, ladies. One more thing for floor. What I like to do, so my optional coach has me teach all the young kids in their cartwheel to turn the second hand in and to look underneath their armpit. And so we start that with the toddler program. Obviously, when we're first teaching them cartwheels, we teach them a cartwheel that looks exactly like you would assume a toddler cartwheel looks like. But as a side station to start getting them to understand the way that we want them to place their hands and their head placement, we have them do a half handstand and we use the Velcro hands to show them which way their hands should go. So I'm going to get this station set up using one of our wedge mats that we're just going to fold. I'm going to make sure that you all can see it. Move my ramp out of the way. And this thing is also Velcroed to the ground pretty much all the way around, which I love, on the bottom part of it. So I've got my Velcro hands. Luckily, I have 3 lefties with me here today. But what we're going to do is we're going to take one hand, put it just straight ahead. The other hand's going to turn in. Kind of like that on the ground. Can they see that? So since they're lefties, their left hand's going to be left neutral. And the right hand is going to turn in. Now, like I said, with your toddlers, you're not going to know if they're lefties or righties. So you're going to set up both stations for them. That's what I do. I use the Velcro hands. I've got lefties and I've got righties, and I have them do both because there's no harm in that. All right, Ellie, you come on over here. You're going to show us your half handstand with your hands in the correct position. Look underneath the armpit. Excellent. So she's not even in a half handstand. This is kind of what your toddlers are going to do anyways. But look, they're learning how to place their hands correctly and look underneath that armpit. So they're going to look underneath the armpit of the hand that's turned in. Excellent. Harper, would you also like to demonstrate the station for me, the half handstand? Yes, she said, park the car in the garage. That's how we use their imagination. This is the garage. This is the car. They park the car in the garage and look underneath their armpit. Right. Boop, boop, boop. Turn the head. Beautiful. Very good. Now, if you've got toddlers that are doing really good with that, Claire, come on over. You put one leg up in the air, and that's how you make it a little bit more difficult. So maybe your 4 to 5-year-olds, one leg up in the air, looking underneath the armpit. Whoa! And that's going to translate to their cartwheel super well. But again, you want to talk to the coaches in your gym that are coaching your upper level girls and make sure that you guys have a really open communication so that you know what they're looking for. All right, girls, let's move on to vault. Last event. We're coming over here. We did balance beam. Yeah. Now, girls, I need you girls to get me one thing. Do you remember the slanted step in there? Can you go get that for me? You don't need, I don't need 3 girls to get it. Just as long as we can see all of this stuff. Yes, that's what we need. This is vault. Yes. Okay, let's make sure we're not doing handstands on the side. I just want you to put it over there for me because we're going to use it in a second. Thanks so much, Ellie. All righty, guys. One of the most important aspects of vault in upper level gymnastics is going to be body tension. And I'm not really talking upper level gymnastics. I'm talking like mid-level gymnastics, front handsprings over the mats, level 3, front handsprings over the table, level 4, 5. So even to get them to that point, we want to make sure that they have really, really great body tension. Again, using their imagination in our toddler program. This is our pit pillow. We use this as like the resi of our toddler program. We have a ton of these and I love them. Harper, come on over here, stand on the springboard for me and turn and face that way. We are going to do a tree fall. So this is really great because we get to pretend to be a tree that's in a forest and I get to be a lumberjack, which in case you didn't know, that's actually my other passion. No, I'm kidding. But I get to chop them down and they're going to squeeze really tight, 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 chop, boom. And she's going to fall straight onto the mat again. Don't forget, try to pull them apart. So I'm pulling their legs apart. That's just making sure that they're staying tense as they're falling. Chop. And she's smiling while learning. Love it. All right, go ahead, Ellie. Chop. Wow. So a lot of times when they first start, do you girls think you can show me what these look like when we first started and you would get scared and you would kind of poke your bottom out backwards and do a pike?
The bars.
Ready?
The bars are in low and then higher and then higher.
Yes, they are. Okay, chop. That was still good. That's not, no, I want you to do it bad.
Oh.
Go ahead, ready? Chop, stick your bottom out. No, she's still too good at these. That was really great, Harper. All right, Claire, do you think you could do it bad?
Yeah.
Chop. Oh, that's the one I'm looking for. When your toddler first starts, that's exactly what they're going to look like. And so we want to teach them what the concept of flat hips means. And it's going to translate all over. So even in your candlestick, you're learning flat hips. You can teach them here. So if I were to put my arm here, it shouldn't break, right? It should stay flat with you. You don't want to poke your bottom out, but I want you to do it bad. Chop. Up, exactly. And they do that kind of roll back. But as they get more confident, more comfortable, yep, chop. As they are more confident, more comfortable, they're going to do this better and better. Chop. Excellent. So now, oh, scooch to the side. Claire wants you to show me something good. You're going to do a handstand with your hands on the springboard and you're going to do a flat back. So that's going to translate straight to this. It's like an upside down tree fall. Got her. I didn't actually. She got me. So I really should do 3 push-ups. But body tension. One of the ways that we teach body tension on vault, again, I told you we use these things for everything. We call this rotisserie chicken. I know that sounds funny. Girls, can we do rotisserie chicken? So with our preteen kids, this is what we do with our preteen kids. So with our toddlers, we use the panel mats. Okay, we're gonna, yep, that's pretty good. So she's gonna get on the little tops of the mountains here and try to make a straight line. And then we're gonna rotisserie chicken and roll onto our back. Got to cook our chicken evenly. 10 seconds right there, flat hips, squeezing nice and tight. So we start on the panel mats, rolling the ball underneath with the toddlers. When we come to preteen, we start them on our slanted ninja steps. Awesome, good job. Okay, board punching, also super important. Yes, girls, come on over here. Let's make sure we're not going crazy in the background. Rotisserie chicken, yes. I'm gonna move these out of the way so that you guys can see. Girls, let's go ahead, sit down. We're almost getting done here. Okay, to teach board punching, 2 tricks I'm gonna give you. Again, harnessing their imagination. So girls, never forget, we've gotten kidnapped by pirates, right? This is our pirate ship right here. Claire, can you demonstrate this for me? This is our pirate ship right here. You start this very young. So she's going to do it perfectly, I'm sure. Now, the pirates don't know that we're gymnast mermaids. So if we get our feet together when we hit the water, we should pop right back up and land back on the pirate ship. And they can't even make us walk the plank. We're gym mermaids, exactly. So we're walking the plank. So we're going to hang the leg over. Go ahead, step and go. Oh, she popped back up there because she's a gymnast mermaid. So she did it with the arm circle. Obviously, when you start this with your toddlers, they're not going to do it with an arm circle. Okay, you can start back here because we're going to walk into it because we're walking the plank. Beep, beep. We're walking the plank. Go ahead, walk. They're so good at these. They have done probably thousands. The springboard bounce, probably thousands of these. So that is why they're so good. But we obviously, when we first get started with this, they're going to hit the board chest down and they're going to go that way. And you're going to say, oh my gosh, you ended up in the water. I want you to end up back on the pirate ship. Oh, you ended up in the water. See, that's when the chest is leaned down. Great. So this is to teach them proper board positioning. Again, we started very, very young. Even with our parent and taught classes, we had them just stand on the edge, jump off, and the parent helps to bring them back up. So they step off, back up, just like that. So we've got all of our stations set up and we just modify them for which level we're working with. Last thing. This is where we would draw a spider. Ladies, come on over. And just for board aggression, I will. Just for board aggression, girls, line up, line up, line up. For board aggression, we draw a little spider and we just tell them, crush the spider. I couldn't find it. I do have a Halloween spider that I couldn't find. There's my little spider.
There's a spider on the trampoline.
There is. We drew it on the trampoline for the toddlers. All right.
We crushed
They run, they crush the spider, they land, safety landing. Go ahead.
We did whatever.
Boom, bend your knees on that safety landing. But the toddlers just love this. Again, harnessing their imaginations, getting them to be super aggressive when they're vaulting. Bend the knees when you land. All right, girls. And let me put this chalk back. All right, you girls can sit back down on the dot. Thank you so much. Uh-oh, careful. All right, so just to kind of summarize what we were going over, making sure we're doing a step-by-step learning approach with them, instilling that in them from the very beginning, creating short-term goals with your toddlers that are attainable, and things that are very clear. They don't understand gray area. They like it to be very black and white, making sure that you as a coach are celebrating progress each and every time that they're in the gym and each and every time that you see it, no matter how small that progress is. So that's going to keep them passionate about what they're doing. And you want to teach them to be respectful of their coaches and their classmates. If you do all of those things and you're incorporating these shapes into their learning, then they're going to have no problem moving seamlessly to a competitive team. We're getting our volume on here.
Wow. Thank you so, so much, Coach Victoria. That was an awesome presentation. So full of so much great content. I know everybody's going to be able to take away so much from that. We are going to go ahead and move right into our Q&A portion of the event. We've already been asked quite a bit of questions, so we're going to go ahead and just cycle through a few of them, but we also don't want to keep you here for too long. So we're going to try to move through these quite quickly. So let's go ahead and move up to a question from the beam room. Question from Jessica: do you travel in a straight jump or stretch jump? And I believe this was related to the question for the ducks on the Addy beam right at the end.
Yes, you do not travel. So with the stretch jump or the straight jump on the balance beam, we want them to go straight up and straight back down. Same thing is going to be with split jumps, straddle jumps, everything like that on balance beam. You don't want them to move forwards.
Awesome. Moving on, do you have any tips to encourage hands to be turned in on those backward rolls?
Any tips? Well, one of my upper level team coach, when he's coaching them, he tells them to karate chop the ground. And that seems to work for them. So we take the hands, we turn them in and we say, karate chop the ground with the side of your hand. Sometimes even putting a little bit of chalk on the side of their hand and making sure that you see that chalk on the ground helps to encourage them to do that correctly.
That mat that has the grid on the top of it. Do you have any more ideas on how to use those tic-tac-toe lines on the folded wedge or any other games that you might have?
Oh, yes. Actually, when we learn our safety landings, I'm gonna fold that up and turn the camera to it. Hey, girls, go behind that big cheese mat. Moving camera. You make sure that they can see that. So it's got that tic-tac-toe board up on the top. When we teach our toddlers our safety landings, beep, beep, I'm going to put you girls behind it that way. Yeah. Now you can have up to 9 toddlers doing this because you've got 9 boxes up there. Go ahead and climb up. Let's have Harper in this box, Claire in this box, Ellie in this box. Oh, they know exactly what we're going to do. All right. And safety landing, freeze. Finish. Then the next group would come up, then the next group would go up. They come around. They love that. And sometimes I kind of make it a competition, and like out of the first 3 that go, whoever lands and sticks gets a double high five. All right, ladies, thank you so much. You can go back to your dots.
Awesome tip. Love to hear that. We're going to do a few more questions. Don't be afraid to drop questions in the chat if you have them. Next question from Jenny. Do you explain all of the drills at once or work one drill at a time for the kids to be able to fully understand?
So what we do is we have our circuits set up for 3 weeks at a time. The first week, they spend 10 minutes in each of our toddler rooms. So we have a toddler vault floor, a toddler balance beam, and a toddler beam, bar room. They spend 10 minutes in each room for our toddler program. And for the first week, about 5 minutes is spent explaining the circuit to them. Then they do 5 minutes trying it out. The next week, we do a quick review, and then they do the circuit, and we make sure that we have chosen one station that is going to be really coach intensive. So I showed you guys a few stations today. I would not have paired a lot of those stations together in the same circuit because a lot of them were coach intensive. And so you want to make sure that you have your one coach intensive station and then some things that they can do independently that are self-correcting. Like the duck station is a self-correcting station. They'll know if they're doing it correct or not if they stay in between the ducks. So again, 3 weeks, we spend about 5 minutes explaining each of the stations, and we try to make sure that from each theme to the next theme, so every 3 weeks, we keep at least 2 things in the circuit the same from the week before, so that we don't really have to spend much time explaining that.
Awesome. Let's do one last question, and then we will move into our gift certificate drawing. This one is from David. Why do you choose to break up the events into different rooms?
Why do I choose to break up the events into different rooms? That is a good question. And that is just, I think that's just how it worked out in our building. We have like a longer room. So we just were like, we can fit some balance beams in here. Also, sometimes with our rotation schedules, we have a lot of kids in the gym, and our gym is not that big. And so sometimes we use like our kindernastics and our beginner ones will use the toddler rooms. And so if they are going to like bars on their rotation schedule, it's just easy to send them to a room that has a bunch of bars in them. So it just worked out logistically for us. Nothing really technical wise of why I did that.
All right. Thank you everyone so much for the questions. We are going to go ahead and wrap up our presentation. But before we do our gift certificate drawing, I did want to introduce you to our 2 amazing sales team members, Shelly and Jen, who are both in the presentation with us today. If you have any Tumbl Trak product related question, these 2 will be your go-to. Their emails are listed here. Feel free to reach out to them with any Tumbl Trak questions that you may have. We are going to go ahead and move into our much anticipated $250 gift certificate drawing. But before we do that, don't forget to subscribe to us on YouTube, follow us on Instagram, like us on Facebook, and follow us on TikTok as well. We are releasing new products here in just a few short weeks, so make sure that you are following us to stay up to date on that. We are going to go ahead and move into our gift certificate drawing. The way that this is going to work, I have a random number generator that I'm going to use, and then based on the number that I draw, it will coordinate with the list of attendees that we have today. If I draw a name and you are here, please feel free to either unmute yourself, wave me down, let me know that you're here, or drop a comment into the chat feature just to let me know that you're here. If I say a name and they are not present, I'll wait a few moments and then I will go ahead and choose a different number and redraw a name. Here we go. Based on our number of attendees today, the random number that I have drawn is 157. Is Danielle from Connect's School of Gymnastics here? Unmute yourself, Danielle.
I am here. I am here.
Awesome. Congratulations. You have won our $250 gift certificate. You will go ahead and receive that later this week.
Awesome. Thank you.
Thank you for showing up. we are going to go ahead and wrap up here. One big last thank you to Coach Victoria Cunningham for this awesome presentation today. So much information in the past hour that can help programs for years to come. If you enjoyed today's content and you want to keep up with her for what she is doing, feel free to subscribe to her on YouTube and follow her on Instagram and Facebook as well. Her contact info is also listed here if you have any follow-up questions for her or her program. So thank you so much.
I can't believe you got that. Hold on a second. I think I should have muted. Okay, hold on.
That's what happens when you're a little late. I was having technical difficulties.
Oh my gosh. Oh my gosh. That is so funny.
And once again, thank you everyone so much for coming to our presentation today.
Awesome. Well,
This
good.
is our second of 4 events that we are having this year. So feel free to visit our website to see the rest of our events for 2022.
Yeah.
And we hope you all enjoyed this past hour with Tumbl Trak and Coach Victoria Cunningham. Bye,
Thank you,
everyone.
Victoria.
It's simple stuff for sure. Yeah. All right. Listen, I don't
Thank you.
want to hold
Bye,
you
guys.
up.
Bye.